Texas Democratic Representative Colin Allred, Center, at a luncheon in Richardson, Texas, on Wednesday. Photo, DeLuca for The Wall Street Journal by Natalie Andrews. Natalie Andrews. The Wall Street Journal biography at Natal. Natalie.Andrews at WSJ.com. August 27, 2019, 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Richardson, Texas. Tensions over global trade have ramped up the importance of the U.S. trade agreement with Canada and Mexico to businesses in this Dallas suburb, and to the freshman Democrat seeking a second term here. Representative Colin Allred visited the office of Mitchell Enterprises Inc. here last week to assure the company's principals that he was doing all he could to push Congress to approve the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement, President Trump's renegotiated version of the North American Free Trade Agreement. "Y'all need to get this thing figured out," said David Mitchell, president of the company, which sells heating and air conditioning parts in 5 states and Mexico. Get it voted, and get it going. Share your thoughts. What benefits or drawbacks do you see in Congress moving forward with a trade agreement with Mexico and Canada? Join the conversation below. On a bookshelf behind Mr. Mitchell's desk was a picture of him with Pete Sessions, the 11-term GOP lawmaker whom Mr. Allred ousted last year. Republicans are gearing up to win the seat back, but it won't be easy. Republican presidential nominee Mitt Romney won the district in the 2012 election, but Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton won it in 2016. Demographic changes in metropolitan areas like the Texas Triangle, the megaregion that includes Dallas, San Antonio and Houston, mean voters there aren't as reliably Republican as they were during the redistricting that followed the 2010 census. For Texas, trade is enormously important, Mr. Allred said in his still sparsely decorated office. While he said the trade deal needs to be changed to pass, he stressed his concern is more about dealing with uncertainty and trying to give our businesses the certainty to plan, and building on the current supply chains we already have. While trade policy is often not a top issue for voters, the state of the economy usually is, and in Texas, the two go hand in hand. Mexico is Texas's biggest trading partner, and Canada is second, measured by the percentage of the state's exports, Census Bureau data show. Lawmakers see the trade deal, which among other changes mandates that 75% of automobiles be manufactured in Mexico, the U.S. for Canada to qualify for zero tariffs, up from 62.5% under NAFTA, as injecting a sense of certainty into the market while the country battles with China. "We don't know what's going to happen day to day," Representative Lizzie Fletcher, a Democrat in Houston, said of business owners in her district. R. Mitchell generally supports Republicans but said he was open to backing Mr. Allred next year, depending on what he accomplishes for the community. Allred and Ms. Fletcher, the only Texas Democrats to flip GOP-held House seats last year, are trying to show their willingness to work with the president to benefit their districts. Democrats are looking to chip away at the GOP advantage in the state next year with Mr. Trump on the ballot. For Democrats, refusing to pass this out of spite to President Trump will only hurt them. In fact, it kicks in the gut American auto workers, manufacturers, farmers and small businesses who will benefit greatly from the agreement, said Houston area Rep. Kevin Brady, the top Republican on the Ways and Means Committee. From his meeting with Mitchell Enterprises, Mr. Allred went next to a Chamber of Commerce meeting where trade policy was top of mind. John Hurst, a vice president at Richardson-based Lennox International, which makes heating, ventilation and air conditioning products, said after the meeting that consistency was crucial for his business. "We understand that we need to be adaptable to changing environments, but this has been a bit much," he said. Allred visiting Mitchell Enterprises in the Dallas suburb of Richardson. Photo, DeLuca for The Wall Street Journal. Mr. Trump this summer threatened to impose escalating tariffs on billions of dollars of Mexican imports but dropped the proposal after negotiators reached a deal on measures to stem the flow of migrants pouring into the U.S. over the southern border. More recently, China said Friday it would impose new tariffs on $75 billion worth of U.S. products to retaliate against U.S. moves to slap punitive tariffs on an additional $300 billion of Chinese goods. That prompted Mr. Trump to respond hours later by increasing tariffs on Chinese goods. Democratic lawmakers across the U.S., unlike most in Texas, have become wary of free trade deals since NAFTA took effect in 1994. Some are hesitant to give President Trump a victory as he runs for re-election. Members of the Congressional Progressive Caucus are concerned Mexico won't comply with the environmental and labor standards in the agreement. Democrats also want a shorter term on the 10-year exclusivity for costly biologic drugs, pharmaceuticals produced from living organisms, such as certain types of insulin, saying the provision could prevent lawmakers from lowering the cost of prescription medicine. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has said the deal may require surgical changes to pass the chamber. She assembled a working group that has told U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer that the deal must be reopened to add stricter enforcement provisions and change the terms on the biologics. Frustration is building because Mr. Lighthizer doesn't want to reopen the deal, which has already been certified by Mexico. Trade deals must start in the House. Should it pass the House, it would likely have enough support in the GOP-controlled Senate to make it to the president's desk. Connecticut Representative Rosa DeLauro is a member of the working group that has been holding conference calls during the August recess. Ms. DeLauro sees USMCA as unrelated to China. One should not make decisions on the renegotiated NAFTA based on our relationship with China, she said in an interview. The working group has been having weekly conference calls while Congress is in August recess. Allred, with 13 other Democrats, many in competitive districts, sent a letter to Mrs. Pelosi last month encouraging her to put the trade agreement on the floor before the end of the year. It was to indicate that we're willing to move forward on trying to figure out what the hurdles are and how we get over them, Mr. Allred said. The Trump administration, which negotiated the new NAFTA deal, also known as USMCA, has not yet submitted the initiative to Congress for formal ratification. Is time running out? WSJ's Gerald F. Sieb explains. Photo, Saul Loeb, AFP. Right to Natalie Andrews at Natalie. Andrews at WSJ.com. Copyright 2019 Dow Jones. All rights reserved. 87,990 CBE 856818 D5 EDAC 44 C7 B1 CDEB 8 Let's block ads. Why?